Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. Frameshift drive charging.
Thargoid research project requires meta-alloys. Pilots Federation alert. Commanders have been asked to collect meta-alloys from Thargoid barnacles as part of a wider xenological study. The research project is being orchestrated by Professor Ishmael Palin, one of the most prominent experts in Thargoid technology. With escalating Thargoid activity in the core systems, it is increasingly important that we learn as much as possible about this species. Only through scientific study can we better comprehend their biomechanical nature and, where possible, enhance our defenses against it. The initial phase requires fresh samples of meta-alloys, the unique material used in the construction of Thargoid vessels. These can be harvested from barnacles that the Thargoids have seeded on selected planets. Pilots can deliver meta-alloys to the starport James Snedden in the Morton-Mars system. As part of the Federal Reclamation Company's support for this initiative, the station's market also offers an increased price for any Thargoid tissue samples. In addition to credit payments for all those delivering meta-alloys, Class 4A, 5A and 6A corrosion-resistant cargo racks will be available to selected contributors. The 5A and 6A versions have been exclusively manufactured for this project and are not commercially available at present. Professor Palin stated that possessing these cargo racks will be of great benefit in the project's planned second phase, scheduled to occur in the next few weeks. Allied System receives vital resources. Pilots Federation alert. Sirius Corporation has helped provide commodities to sustain the DDO system during the ongoing Thargoid assault. Pilots transported multiple shipments of basic medicines, evacuation shelters and food cartridges to the megaship Chariot of Rhea in the Listi system. These were then redirected to DDO and distributed wherever they were most urgently needed. The campaign was orchestrated by Admiral Nicholas Glass, who announced, "By replenishing key supplies during this time of great crisis, Sirius Corporation has again shown its dedication to the Alliance's military efforts. This will undoubtedly pave the way for the Strategic Defense Pact to be accepted by the Assembly once the trial period has completed. Sirius Corporation has confirmed that all pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect payment from Chariot of Rhea in Listi. In related news, the superpowers are continuing to reward independent ships for destroying Thargoid vessels in the DDO, Novas and Sosong systems. Salvation's anti-Xeno superweapons are expected to be operational 1 week from today. Pirate rebels coup attempt failed. Marlinist colonies gain starports. 2 new starports have been added to Marlinist systems, following a successful delivery initiative last month. The use of pre-built infrastructures and mass-produced components has allowed the orbital stations to be assembled rapidly. The starport names and locations are Fairfax Legacy in the Hyades Sector SUC A14-1 system, and Aquada Monument in the Hyades Sector LXT-C330 system. The Marlinist Parliament welcomed the new starports, stating that they will lay strong foundations for increased commerce with the interstellar community. As a result of a recent diplomatic arrangement, 2 million Marlinist refugees have been offered transport from the Alliance to the colony systems. They are being processed and granted citizenship at the new starports. A campaign to rename the 2 existing starports, Stillman Hub and Tillman Point, was discouraged by Sirius Corporation. These stations were constructed when the Megacorp first established the colonies in 3306 as a way to diffuse tensions between the Empire and the Federation. However, Sirius Corporation did not object to new designations for the original 8 Marlinist systems. These are expected to become official in the coming weeks. Rackham achieves trillionaire status. The personal fortune of entrepreneur Zachary Rackham has now surpassed 1 trillion credits due to a new corporate acquisition. A report in the Tau Cetai Journal highlighted the achievement. Rackham Capital Investments now officially owns the company Kevonor Spaceframes Limited, which constructs Orbis starports. The business deal had been in the pipeline for years with little sign of progress, but was unexpectedly agreed by both parties in the last few days. Susanna Haynes, CEO of the now renamed Rackham Spaceframes, welcomed the arrangement. She remarked that improved financial stability can only benefit our efficiency at manufacturing orbital habitats. Analysts estimate that the total value of Mr. Rackham's estate is now approximately 1,012 billion credits. This makes him one of a handful of private citizens in the Federation who can claim to be trillionaires. The Federal Times featured a response from the journalist Brianna Blanco. I cannot question the legality of the Kevinor Spaceframe's purchase, but the timing is suspicious, following Rackham's recent self-hype about running for president. Whatever he did to push this deal through, the publicity will be worth it. Political supporters and corporate investors will surely flock to his side now that he has become the federal equivalent of royalty. Anaconda faces pirate rebellion. A power struggle is raging within the Kumo crew following a coordinated effort to overthrow the syndicate's leader, Anaconda. The Pegasus Sentinel newsfeed delivered this exclusive report. What at first seemed to be merely another attempt to assassinate Delane turned out to be a far greater threat. Simultaneous attacks across the organization revealed that this was actually the first strike in a full-blown coup. The rebellion is being led by Arch-Corsair Vidar Trask, a senior member of the Kumo Council. He has declared that the syndicate is stagnating under Delane's tired brand of barbarism, and that new leadership will bring greater glories and riches. Fierce combat has ignited in the Kumo crew's key areas as both sides battle for resources. Trask's loyalists are being aided by a motley collection of pirate gangs, as well as thousands of unidentified fighters, suggesting that he has hired mercenaries to bolster his forces. Anaconda, whose guards barely managed to shield him from the assassins, has ordered that the insurrection must be stamped out at any cost. He also vowed an explicitly violent revenge upon Vidar Trask, who has been one of his closest aides for many years. Supply rare goods for Rackham's celebration. Pilots Federation alert. The entrepreneur Zachary Rackham has asked for deliveries of rare items to Edmondson High in the Beta Hydri system. At a press conference on the planet Homeland, Mr. Rackham announced, "It's not every day that a humble businessman like me celebrates becoming a trillionaire. So I'm holding a week-long party in the upper floors of Rackham's Spire. To make sure my guests are entertained, I'll need to keep my stocks of Apavietzi from Paniclis, Eurasian Goose beer from Gerris, Pantar Press sticks from George Pantases, Yushan tree grubs from Usar, and Nduligar fireworks from Nduligar High throughout the entire week. I've also arranged for pilots to receive temporary permits to the Beta Hydri system, which will last until the 2nd of June. Anything to make life easier for my trader friends." Mr. Rackham faced criticism for hosting a celebration at a time when so many had died in recent Thargoid attacks. In response, he claimed he had a duty to boost public morale by filling the news with happier stories. Financial reporter Brianna Blanco commented in the Federal Times, "The guest list for this party includes politicians, media magnates, publicity gurus, and many others who would prove useful if you were running a presidential campaign. Should Rackham get enough of them on his side, presumably by sparing no expense on their comfort and entertainment, I think he'll officially set his sights on the Federation's top job." Thargoid Research Project Phase 1 completed. Pilots Federation alert. Professor Ishmael Palin has received multiple shipments of Thargoid meta-alloys for xenological study. From Able Laboratory, his workshop in the ARC system, Professor Palin made the following announcement. "I am deeply grateful to all those who collected meta-alloys from barnacle sites. Analyzing these samples will help us learn more about the biomechanical technology currently employed by the Thargoid fleets. I am planning the second phase of this project, which has the combined assistance of the Alliance, Empire and Federation. Despite the horror of the recent attacks, we must seize every chance to increase our scientific knowledge. Professor Palin has authorized payment for all pilots who took part in the initiative. This includes awarding Class 4A, 5A and 6A corrosion-resistant cargo racks to those who made the greatest contributions. The rewards can be collected at the Starport James Snedden in the Morton Mart system. In addition, the Federal Reclamation Company will continue to offer high prices for Thargoid tissue samples sold via the station's market. Salvation triggers superweapon victory. Pilots Federation alert. The invading Thargoid forces in the DDO, Novus and Sosong systems have been completely repelled by Salvation. Vox Galactica journalist Jade Sanderlin published this account. We've received confirmation from Commodore Morag Halloran that 3 anti-Xeno superweapons were activated in DDO, Novus and Sosong. This caused the Thargoid fleets in all 3 systems to immediately withdraw into hyperspace. It seems that the Thargoids have no defense against the Guardian-derived superweapon, which generates an electromagnetic pulse to disrupt their biomechanical technology. Allied, Federal and Imperial task forces have been keeping the Thargoids at bay for the last 2 weeks. Admiral Ziegler, Price and Atherton sent messages of congratulation to Salvation, who seems set to receive additional resources to improve superweapon production. For better or worse, it appears Salvation now plays a crucial role in humanity's war against the Thargoids. The superpowers also offered rewards to independent pilots for contributing to the system's defenses. Commanders can redeem Thargoid combat bonds at Plymouth Howe in the Changi system, Nussel Involid Settlement in the Zalota system, and Sturkow Orbital in the Ushima system. Dredger clan visits the Golconda. The Artificers clan Dredger has entered the Upanaklis system, where the generation ship Golconda currently resides. The Golconda, when it was discovered in 3305, was still inhabited with the descendants of its original crew who left Sol in the 22nd century. They accepted the Federation's help to abandon the ancient generation ship and resettle on the Forester's Choice outpost, where their unique culture would remain undisturbed. The Artificers clan is a nomadic community living aboard a Dredger-class bulk cruiser, an old design that refuels by scooping raw materials and salvage. Little is known about this particular tribe, which rarely enters inhabited systems. The Dredger's arrival was initially reported by independent pilots. Commander Javi Alvarado gave a statement to Vox Galactica. I regularly make trade runs to Forester's Choice. I've made a few friends there, but the Golcondans are still very cautious with outsiders. This rush to bulk by their Apravietzi for Rackham's party has caught them by surprise. Anyway, when the Artificers first appeared, the Golcondans asked me to find out what they wanted. I flew out to the Dredger, but most of my hails got no reply. Only once did I get a burst of some rapid, densely verbose language. From what I could make out, they seemed to be interested in the Golconda itself, but they didn't explain further. Corsair Vidar Trask has failed to gain control of the Kumo crew syndicate. Vox Galactica featured a report by freelance correspondent Carlene Troy. As might be expected, it's hard to obtain official data when conflict breaks out within a criminal organization. But all the information I've gathered points to the same conclusion. Vidar Trask's coup attempt has failed. What is surprising, however, is how close he initially came to dethroning Anaconda. The Kumo crew were almost overwhelmed by the sheer number of fighters following Trask's banner. I'm told that nearly half of the rebelling forces have yet to be identified and are suspected to be mercenaries. A second mystery is that Arch-Corsair K. Valentine, another senior member of the Kumo Council, has been declared missing. The Pegasi Sentinel newsfeed believes that she was killed by Trask personally. The newest Inner Circle member, Callan Salamanca, is leading Delane's counterattack against the insurrectionists. Most of the surviving rebels have now retreated to HIP 10792 and are attempting to drive out the Kumo Council faction in that system. Eyewitness reports regarding the ongoing firefights suggest that Delane is in no mood to forgive his would-be usurpers. Pirate rebels' coup attempt fails. An insurrection led by Arch-Corsair Vidar Trask